Greetings, fellow citizens, educators, teachers, our members, and all relevant stakeholders in the education sector. Amalgamated Rural Teachers Union of Zimbabwe, the fastest growing teachers union in this country, met on its second congress over the weekend in Chocholo, Matabeleland North to deliberate and discuss about issues bedeviling our sector as teachers, and came up with ways in terms of addressing these issues. Fellow citizens, business is no longer usual, as Amalgamated Rural Teachers Union of Zimbabwe came up with these very strong resolutions in order to defend the profession as well as also save the education sector, which is on the verge of collapse. And to share with these resolutions, we met to deliberate more as the National Executive Committee today, the 30th of April, at our union offices with the new, energetic, strong National Executive Committee members, which was mandated by the Congress to spearhead the implementation of these resolutions. And the President of the Union, Comrade Obed Masaraure, will share with you the resolutions that came up on the Congress. Over to you, Comrade President.
Thank you so much, Comrade Secretary General. Greetings, Zimbabwe. Fellow Zimbabweans, we come to you to share resolutions from the Congress of the Amalgamated Rural Teachers Union of Zimbabwe. Allow me to first of all salute the resolute comrades who gathered in Cholocho to come up with these resolutions, and the hard-working National Executive Council members who are here present, who just participated in a process of coming up with a work plan on how do we implement those particular resolutions. And we want the nation to know what to expect in the coming days. We want the government of Zimbabwe to know what to expect in the next days from the resolution, from resolution number 1, where the teachers of Zimbabwe are saying they are fed up with poor wages. Resolution number 1 is to demand a living wage from the government of Zimbabwe. We have done a lot of advocacy work, and the government has not been paying attention. And the first quarter of this year is elapsed without government announcing a salary review. And the teachers are angry because they are hungry. So going forward, the teachers have agreed that schools will not open for the second term on 13th of May. What is going to happen and what is going to be witnessed across the country are pickets at each and every school of all the over 10,300 schools in Zimbabwe, including some private colleges who have joined in. There are going to be picket lines with the teachers demanding a fair wage. We are not going to accept anything less than 1,260, which meets the basket of needs of an individual teacher. The second resolution speaks to the issue of the restoration of benefits, including the vacation leave, which was robbed from us, uninterrupted 90 days of vacation leave. We are going to be demanding it. Government should expect to see us on the streets of Zimbabwe, should expect to see petitions in their offices, should expect to see disruption of learning until our vacation leaves are restored. But we are also demanding, as resolution number 3, the amendment of the Public Service Act. We demand that the Public Service Act should provide for rights that are captured in the Constitution of the Republic. The right to strike should never be criminalized. Our act is still criminalized the same. The right to collective bargaining should be provided for. The right to absolutely paid maternity leave should be provided for. And the government should expedite the process of amending the Public Service Act. But we still insist that we have a right to collective bargaining that should be respected. Gone are the days where Cecilia Alexander would go in masquerade at the National Joint Negotiating Council, purporting to be representing civil servants when she's representing her stomach and her family. Now it's time when we are now demanding that the National Joint Negotiating Council should be dissolved. Congress has instructed us to ensure that the NJNC, that animal created from Title Instrument 141 of 1997, is collapsed and a genuine collective bargaining council is instituted. And we are going to make sure that it's done, and it's going to be done under this term. There are a lot of other resolutions under labor justice, but I'll quickly move on to the other resolutions. Speaking to the right to education for our learners, government is advised that in line with Section 75 of the Constitution, the Congress of the Amalgamated Rural Teachers Union of Zimbabwe is demanding that all learners should receive state-funded education. The beam drama should be scrapped and we should institute state-funded education where each and every learner is going to get a tuition grant which is distributed on equity basis, with the most marginalized and most excluded receiving the most amount of resources from their own government, from the treasury. So we'll go to the issue, other resolutions among under the defending democracy. We vow to defend democracy in Zimbabwe. We will not allow dictatorship to flourish, because we know trade unionism suffocates under dictatorship. And because of that, Congress resolved that the union will continue to advocate for a transparent electoral system, and will mobilize teachers and communities to participate in all democratic processes. But we also vow to support initiatives that will lead to the institution of a national transition authority as the only route to usher a democratic dispensation in Zimbabwe. But we have also seen the proliferation of disinformation and misinformation, and the union mandated us to engage in serious processes for countering disinformation, which we will do through training citizen journalists among teachers and supporting our True Patriot publication. But we have also noted the ruinous and ridiculous third-term ambitions of Emerson Mnangagwa, and we are prepared to oppose the 2030 agenda. We don't do that because we support anyone in one of the factions in Zambia who are opposing Emerson. We do it because we are patriotic Zimbabweans who want to see the constitution of the nation being respected. We don't want to see our constitution being mutilated, and we are going to stop all those with machinations to mutilate our constitution to perpetuate their hold on power illegally. But we also understand that there are issues to deal with our resources that are being looted by a few. We've seen our national assets being stripped. We've seen how lands of Tabiri and others have made it their business to empower Zimbabwe of its wealth and resources. And the Congress resolved to partner with progressive organizations to push for the protection and encourage the efficient running of our state enterprises. We will also work hard to plug leakages of our mineral wealth. We will push for sustainable and regulated extraction of our mineral wealth. We will push for the scrapping of tender system and having state enterprises and departments taking up all state jobs. We will push for massive penalties for corruption and reparation for all looted resources. It's no longer going to be business as usual. We respond to all those who claim that we've stopped to represent teachers, to say we do represent teachers. We are also citizens. The demand that we demand from government can only become a reality if our resources are managed well, and our work as trade unions can only flourish if Zimbabwe is democratic. That is the only time we can be able to picket freely. That is where trade union rights are going to be respected. So indeed, we are not apologetic. We will stand tall defending democracy. We will stand tall fighting against corruption. We will stand tall supporting political prison as another political prisoners. As another resolution, we are in solidarity with all political prisoners, and we demand the immediate release of Blessed Mhlanga and all political prisoners who are being detained for simply demanding an end to corruption, demanding an end to misgovernance. And we urge the government to take heed of our call, because this call is not going to remain on paper, but it will manifest on the streets of Zimbabwe. It will manifest on the picket lines across the nation. We thank you.
Okay. Thank you, SG, for characterizing the crisis in the education sector and in the country. That was very clear. President Masarau, you spoke of picket lines. We have witnessed the university lecturers doing a picket, and we have seen through the government spokesperson, through their Twitter handle, Jamwanda, saying we have heard you. So picket lines work. What is your call to choose members? What is your call to sister unions in the education sector? What is your call to the ordinary teacher in the classroom? What character is going to assume in the picket call when we open schools?
So the call to these teachers is very clear. The opening of schools on the 13th of May is going to be D-Day for the education system. Each and every teacher across the country should be carrying a placard to their school. We are not staying away from schools because we realize that the government doesn't care and they don't listen to us when we are at home. Let me there at our schools carrying our placards. Make sure that your placard is carrying a loud message to the government of Zimbabwe that we need our dignity back, that we need a fair wage, we need a wage that meets the basket of needs, which is already short above $1,260. So let's use 13th May as a day to launch the struggle of the teaching fraternity in Zimbabwe. It should be a day where business would never be normal. Our schools are closed for business, but are only open for picketing. We urge parents also to support. We do not want to stay away from the classroom for too long. So we urge parents to join us so that our message can quickly be heard by government. So the quicker government addresses our demand for a fair wage, the quicker the teacher returns to the classroom and our learners resume learning and don't miss on the right to education.
Finally, SG, your rallying call to your fellow union members.
To our fellow union members, if they really are there for the teachers, this is the opportunity for us to converge and speak with one voice. And this voice is about demanding what is rightfully ours. And we understand very well that our employer only understands the language of action. So through exercising the action through lawful means that are enshrined in our constitution, the rights that the president has talked about, the right for strike, we will be sending a clear message that these issues should be addressed now as a matter of urgency. So we do not expect to find sellouts, and this is a call to teachers that these the unions that will be at the forefront of selling out, we must discard them, and besides discard them, we must go after them, because they must not be purporting to be representing us, yet they are derailing progress in terms of fighting for the revolution of teachers. So the counter-revolutionary elements will be weeded by the teachers themselves, and they will be part of the people that will be weeding out the counter-revolutionary elements from the sister unions. I thank you.
Thank you. Atuzi has drawn the line in the sand. No to Ziganandas, no to abuse of workers, no to abuse of teachers. How long?